Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be something super fun. Super fun. I'm going to be doing sort of a mini series. So if you didn't know, I was an au pair in 2016 in Australia, and then in 2017 I au paired in Canada. I lived in Australia for 6 months and I lived in Canada for 2, which there's a whole story on why that one was so short. So stay tuned because that video will be coming out. I think I'll put right here the exact details. But while I'm filming this, I'm pretty sure my schedule for YouTube is going to go back to Monday and Friday, so two videos a week, which is super exciting. And I think on Mondays I'm going to do my mini series, and then on Fridays will just be like our normal vlogs, fun videos, things like that. So this will be part 1 of, I don't know, it depends how many video things I can come up with. I did au pair for almost a year in total, so I do have some good stories and different things I could share. I do want to, at the end of the series, I want to do a Q&A and answer any questions if you like have no idea what an au pair is. Basically it's like a live-in nanny in a foreign country. So yeah, so if you're watching anything throughout the series and you have any questions, comment them down below or send me a DM on Instagram. Whatever, I'm going to go ahead and compile all those together, and then at the end of the series, whenever I decide to wrap it up, I will do a Q&A and answer all of your questions about being an au pair, anything related to this series. So send me those questions as you have them. But for today's video, I'm going to do a sort of like remembering, like a memory box. I don't really know what to call it. But I have 2 of these giant boxes that have memory box stuff in them. All the different things I did while I was au pairing in Australia. I took a 22-day trip back home from Australia, stopping in Thailand, Hawaii, California, Chicago, and back to Atlanta. And I went to Alaska before Hawaii too. So I did a lot of things on my trip home. And so I do have tons of stuff from that. And then while I was in Australia, I also went to New Zealand. And so I have stuff from that. And in Australia, I went to Sydney, New South Wales. I went to Melbourne. I went to Perth, Western Australia, and I went to the Whitsunday Islands on the Gold Coast, and then I lived in Hobart, Tasmania, which is the tiny little island. I actually have a tattoo, which I don't know how to show you. I can't turn my arm. I lived here in Tasmania, so that's Australia. I went to almost everywhere except for the Northern Territory and the South Australia. So anyways, now that I've been rambling about this intro and about this whole series, let's jump into these memory boxes. I have 2, so this may have to be a 2-part video if this gets super long. And I haven't looked at any of these in years. I mean, I don't even know the last time I opened these boxes. But I found them the other day and was like, this would be such a fun video idea. So here we go. First thing is a receipt for my UGG boots. I bought legitimate UGG boots in Australia from the UGG store in Sydney. I almost couldn't even put them in my suitcase to take it back to Tasmania. Like, I was running out of room, but I knew that was one thing I really wanted to buy, was like legitimate, real UGG boots. And so I did. I was very excited about that. So, and they were, let's see, $85 Australian dollars. So I don't know what that would be in US, but I spent $85 on real UGG boots. That was so fun. Oh, Wellington. So me and my friend, which I could do a whole story time on just New Zealand alone. Maybe I'll do that, and maybe I'll call Lauren. Maybe we'll FaceTime Lauren and do a whole video on New Zealand. But fun little story. We literally planned our New Zealand trip sitting in McDonald's in about an hour, and we went for 4 days. We left the country. We literally traveled internationally for 4 days. So we spent a weekend in New Zealand. That was super fun. I could do a whole video on everything we did in New Zealand. We did wine tours, just me and her. We were the only ones that were on our tour group. We got very drunk. I became obsessed with aioli sauce. Yeah, there's some stories in there. Lauren and I could share some stories. If you guys, which Lauren is one of my very best friends that I made in Australia. She was also an American au pair, and she babysat or au paired with a little boy and two little girls that were twins, and they were like really similar ages to the little girl and that I was au pairing for. So yeah, I could do a whole story time on that. So let me comment down below if you want to see a video about New Zealand, and maybe I'll try and FaceTime Lauren and do a whole thing about it. Let me know. This was from the cable car. That was so fun, y'all. The Wellington cable car is like amazing. Oh. So every Wednesday, Lauren and I would take the children. We would go to the library, go to Rock and Rhyme, and they would read stories and then sing songs with all the kids, and it was so much fun. And we would do that, and then we would go to McDonald's and the kids would play, and we would eat lunch. And we did that literally every Wednesday. It was how Lauren and I got to hang out, but we also got to be with our kids doing our jobs. So that was super fun. But this is from the library in downtown Hobart, or well, I guess it was more like Rosny. But either way, in Tasmania, that was from one of our things. Mariah Island. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this place is so fun. I don't look this in forever. So my host family, we had a girl that was a German girl. Her name was Melina. She lived with us. She was a student at the college, which it's more like high school, college, and then they have university. But she was taking college classes, and she was an international exchange student living with my host family as well. And she was German, and she was 16. And one day we went down to Mariah Island, and my host mom dropped us off on the island, and we spent the whole day walking around looking at wallabies, and we explored the island. We cliff jumped, which we didn't. We just took pictures to look like we did. We had packed lunches, and we ate like our peanut butter sandwiches. Oh, it's so fun. Mariah Island is known for their like painted cliffs, which if I can figure out how to put in other pictures as well, I will put in pictures of like some of the stuff we did while we were there. But yeah, that was so much fun. Me and Melina had a blast. I loved Melina. Oh, okay. So this is like the best thing ever. I think this was from this must be all my photos. I think is what this was. Yeah. So while I was living in Australia, I knew I wanted to travel places, and you can't always travel with people. So like Lauren would have to work, and she couldn't always go, or she had been there for 6 months before I got there. So she had already done some of the things that I wanted to do. And so I flew up to the Whitsunday Islands all by myself. And for like I think I was there for 4 days. I went to the Great Barrier Reef. I did so many fun things completely by myself, which if you've never traveled alone, it is literally so empowering. Like just, I'm a really shy person. Like I don't like talking to people I don't know. So doing that really forced me to like get out of my comfort zone, talk to people. I actually have a really cool story, which I could again do more story times on if you guys want more story times. But while I was in the Whitsunday Islands, I met a girl who actually lived in Tasmania. She was doing like a summer internship in the Whitsunday Islands, and we actually met on our like tour out to the reef. Ended up going back to Tasmania together, becoming really good friends, and we actually started going to church together. She took me to my first church in Tasmania. So that was super fun and such a cool like God thing, which I was also going through some stuff at that point when I met her, and like, oh, it was just such a cool God thing. So yeah, I could do a whole story time on that if you guys want more details on that situation. But anyways, this was from, we bought the USB, we split it because we were in all the pictures together. So we split it, and so that was from that. Let's see. Oh, y'all, this place has the best wine, the Joseph Cromie Winery. So one weekend, my host family, we went up to this vineyard, and me and my host mom got like several different wines. We got like a cheese board. I have a picture on my Instagram. I'll put that here if I can figure out how to do that in editing. Again, this is all still new with this new camera. But yeah, we went to the vineyard and we had this cheese tray, and this place has literally the best wine ever. I bought a bottle and we went, my birthday was in August, and we must have gone like in early June or like early July. And I bought a bottle that I saved specifically for my birthday because I wanted to drink this wine. on my birthday, and I to this day like wish I could order it, but they don't sell it in the States. You can't get it, or at least they didn't. Maybe I should check again. But God, they have the best red wine. Yeah, that was a fun winery. It's so pretty. This is just another UGG pamphlet. I have a lot of like pamphlets. I saved everything. Okay, so this was from the 3 Island guided tour in the Whitsundays, which is another cool God thing. As I talk, I like remember cool things that happened while I was there. But I had signed up for these tours before I ever went to the Whitsundays, and this tour I thought was gonna be a whole group. Turns out I'm the only one on the tour that booked it, but they didn't cancel it before I was already like at the tour, so they kind of had to go through with it. So I basically had a one-to-one like personal, she was so sweet, she called herself my personal photographer, and she was basically like, you know, you just do whatever you want, like lunch is on me, you know, like if you need a photo, like let me know, I'll take it, I'll just basically be your guide, and we'll do all these things together, and anything you want to know, anything you want to do, I can do. And so we actually got to go to do other things that typically if you're in a tour you wouldn't get to do, and I got to go to like a swim up bar where she knew the bartender, and she's friends with them, and so we actually got like a free drink. We went in a hot tub. What else did we do? We went to, so it was like a 3 Island tour, but there was like a 4th little spot that I wanted to go to that wasn't included, and because it was just us and we could basically do whatever we wanted, we ended up getting to do that. And so we went to the 4th Island to play with kangaroos. We got to get a golf cart, which normally you have to walk one of the islands. You can't get a golf cart, but again, because it was just me and her, she was able to get us a golf cart. That was super nice. Yeah, that was such a fun tour. I seriously felt so special. I have blogs. I blogged the whole time. I wish I knew vlogging was a thing, because I think it would be so fun if I had this in video form. But obviously it wasn't a thing back, or it was a thing, but I didn't know it was. So I didn't vlog, but I did blog everything. I did weekly blogs while I was there, so I'll put that link down below if you want to read in more depth about like some of my weeks while I was there. Or maybe I'll do more video ideas. Maybe I'll like react to my blog and like read some of them to you guys or something. That would be fun. Anyways, that was a super fun thing. Okay, this is the pamphlet from the Mona, which is the Museum of Old and New Art. So this is in Tasmania. It's the museum that has like really cool things. Like there's like really weird exhibits there. This was the very first place that Lauren and I went to together. We had been texting because we met in a Facebook group, and we had been texting, and we randomly were like, okay, let's go to Mona together. First time we ever met each other, and we obviously hit it off. But the Mona had an exhibit that was, I think, either vaginas or boobs. It was very sexual, and we didn't know, and we walked through the exhibit, and we were both like, cool, you're a complete stranger, and we're like, it was weird. There's so many weird things in the Mona, but it's awesome. It's so fun. So yeah. That was that memory. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, I think this was, is this Sydney? Oh, this is Sydney. Okay, so this is my Sydney map. Obviously, I got a map. Again, Sydney was another place I went to completely by myself. It was actually kind of creepy being in Sydney completely alone, but I was not going to Australia and not seeing the Harbour Bridge or just Sydney in general. So I went there alone. Super fun. Had to ask strangers to take pictures of me. Got one of my favorite pictures from a complete stranger. That was super fun. Okay, don't know what that is. Oh, the salmon ponds. This came up in my time hop this morning. Oh. Okay, so platypus are native to like Tasmania, I think. Obviously, like, I may not be correct on that, but I'm pretty sure you can only like find them in Tasmania. And I didn't actually get to see one, but I have a friend who au paired before me, which is how I kind of became an au pair. Probably will film that whole video on like how I became an au pair, all of those things. But anyway, she did get to see a platypus, and she saw them at the salmon ponds, which is where we went. We went with just my host family and the German girl Melina that lived with us. And we went, and it's so much fun. We had brunch, we got to see all the salmon, we got to feed the fish. It came up on my time hop this morning. Made me really, really, really miss my little baby. But yeah, that was fun. Okay, more Whitsundays, which, y'all, this is literally like what the Whitsundays looks like. Like, it's quite literally this beautiful. And then this side is the different islands and stuff. That was like the tour, one of the tours that I went on. That was super fun. The Overland Trek. Okay, I don't remember what this is. or if I did this. Oh, yes, I do. This is Cradle Mountain. So the furthest point south you can go without being in Antarctica is Cradle Mountain, Tasmania. It's like the furthest, most southern point in the world before you go to Antarctica. And Lauren and I went, which again, so many memories Lauren and I could tell. But we drove down to Cradle Mountain. We went camping. Her car died. we almost got killed, or we thought we were gonna get killed by this like older, I think it was an old man and his son, and they were camping there, but they knew our car died and we couldn't leave, and it was pitch black. We had no phone service. Lauren had an international plan. I didn't. I only used Wi-Fi, but we had 0 cell service, and it was terrifying, but the view was phenomenal. I remember we walked outside of our tent and it was like late at night before we played cards, and we looked up and like the view of the sky being that far south, I mean, you're so far from any form of city light. I mean, you're literally right above Antarctica. And obviously we didn't get to see the southern aurora Australia borealis, but the stars like was unbelievable, like absolutely amazing. It was so cool. That was super fun. Oh, this was from Hillary's Harbor. Okay, so I thought this was so cool. I think that's probably why I kept this. We went to Perth again with Lauren, and we went to a lot of stuff. We went to Rottnest Island, which is like where you can meet quokkas, which if you don't know what a quokka is, they're the only animal that like smiles. So cute. You can pet them. They're like roam the island, but they're super friendly, so you can literally walk up and like pet them. And that was so fun. We like biked around the whole island. Thought I was gonna die. Again, whole other story. I feel like I'm saying that, but that's because I could literally go on forever, and this video is currently 17 minutes long. But yeah, they had the harbor in Perth was called Hillary's Harbor, which I thought was super cool since that's my name. Okay, Port Arthur. So I don't know how to tell that story without going into a lot of details, but Port Arthur. So fun fact, I'll tell a whole story time, I guess, but Zach and I broke up for a part of the time while I was living in Australia, and then obviously we got back together, we're married, we have a kid. Anyways, while I was there, we were broken up, and I met this really nice guy, and he was genuinely just a friend, but I met him, and for the last like 4 weekends that I was in Australia, he took me to like different places that I hadn't been to yet around Tasmania that I wanted to go. And so one of the places we went was Port Arthur, and it's like the like only shooting I think that's ever like the mass shooting in Tasmania. I think that it's like the only one, but anyways, that happened down at Port Arthur, and so like there's a ton of history. It's a really cool place. They have a giant castle. It's really awesome, and so we got to go explore that together. That was super fun. It's a World Heritage Site. Like that's, yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so this was another winery. This was in New Zealand that Lauren and I went to when we got belligerently drunk. This was just a tag to Chicago O'Hare on my trip home. This was my opera house tour. So fun, you guys, so fun. Like, I literally took notes because I'm that obsessed with Australia. I was typing notes on my phone during the tour. I was that person. I still have them. I took lots of notes. I was very obsessed. This was from the zoo in Sydney, the Taronga Zoo. Oh, that was so fun. They had so many cool animals there, and I literally felt like I was like in Finding Nemo because they had one of the, what are the, like the cranes? Norm? No, what's his name? Oh my god, my Disney knowledge is lacking. What's his name? You know the crane that like carries Nemo and like they bite his tongue? Anyways, they had one of him in the zoo, and it was pretty cool to see. Sorry, my camera cut off. Okay, so this was from one of the islands in the Whitsunday Islands, Daydream Island, and we got to like go all around it. I think this was one of the islands where she actually took me to like do stuff that we weren't supposed to get to do. We got to like go paddleboarding without paying for it and like all kinds of stuff. That was super fun. Wellington, a Ziploc bag, boarding ticket. Okay, Reef World. This was where in the Great Barrier Reef, they took us out to this, they have like a floating pontoon boat, and you get to like go do all kinds of different stuff. Like you can go snorkeling, and this is where I did the helicopter, like so many cool things. It was a really awesome experience. Okay, more Perth. Apparently I took a million things from Perth. Oh, I forgot about this. This is the best chocolate ever. It's from New Zealand. Oh my god, you can't get it. It's native to New Zealand. It doesn't ship anywhere. It's phenomenal. Sebastian's screaming. Okay, so this was in the Whitsunday Islands. I stayed at Kipara Resort, and so this was my map of my resort. I'm trying to hurry. This is more from Wellington. I apparently took a million things from there. Another Whitsunday Islands, Wellington. We didn't go to the Wellington Zoo. I don't know why I have that. Didn't do that in New Zealand. I guess I just took a bunch of things from New Zealand. This was one thing we wanted to do, but we didn't get to because we were in the wrong part and we didn't have time to like go up because again, we planned this trip at McDonald's for a weekend. But Hobbiton from, if you watch Lord of the Rings, that is set there. You can actually see the Hobbit holes, but we didn't get to. But we did do a Lord of the Rings tour and got to see some really cool stuff. I forgot about that. That was pretty cool. Oh, the Weta workshop. Okay, so this is what we did. This was one of the cool things we got to do. We were there. If you're like into Lord of the Rings and all that kind of stuff, this was like an exhibit that had all like the memorabilia. They actually have like the Hollywood sign. They actually have a Wellington sign on the side in New Zealand, and we got to see that, which was really cool. Martinborough, I think. This was another winery. This is from Mona. Oh, this was the chairlift from the gorge. Ugh. Cataract Gorge is another place in Tasmania that's like just another really cool place to go. So I went there with Lauren. No, I didn't. I went there with my host family. That was so fun. Let's see. Oh, so Lauren and I would go out to like these different like little bars and stuff downtown, and we wouldn't go out to like get drunk, but we would like go out to like play bingo. Literally. So this is a bingo card. We used to do lots of fun things. That was one of them. We also got drunk, but you know. Okay, so this was Rottnest again. So fun. Oh, I love quokkas. More boarding passes. Booking confirmation to the Sydney airport. Sydney was the first place I went completely by myself, and so I literally had all of these things like planned and printed and like taken with me before I went because I was scared I was gonna be all alone and like might get murdered or something. But I totally forgot about this. So I actually got to see Finding Dory for the first time. It aired in Australia before anywhere else, obviously. And I got to go to the world's largest IMAX 3D theater in Sydney and see Finding Dory on opening night. It was amazing. That was so cool. I ate popcorn for dinner. Felt like awesome because I was on my own for the first time by myself ever. And I was in Sydney alone, and I took a cab and I went and saw the movie, and it was, y'all, so much fun. I thought it was so cool seeing it. Finding Dory. Yeah. Oh, Dark Mofo. Okay, so this is another like festival kind of thing that they do in Hobart. They do like different festivals throughout the year, kind of like any small town or like city. But Dark Mofo is like another art festival that's like really creepy, but they have a ton of good food and really cool like interactive exhibits. And we got to go to that one night, me and Anita and Melina, and I don't think we took Felicity because obviously it was kind of creepy. But yeah, that was an experience. Okay, so this is another thing from Felicity's school. Okay, so this was my boarding ticket to Honolulu through China. Okay, so this was all from Port Arthur. So if you've done like the Titanic exhibits or anything like that, you know, how you get like a playing card and it like says like your story or whatever. So this was kind of similar to that. Like you would get a card and you would be like a person that was at Port Arthur, and you would like walk through the whole scenario as that person. And so I don't remember who I was. And this is like old, so the wording on it is like not there anymore. But yeah, so that was something we did in Port Arthur. Christmas card from Lauren. Yeah, so this was the first Christmas card Lauren sent me when we got back home, because we were both bummed we weren't gonna be together. Don't know what that is. Don't know what that is. Okay, these are more just cards. Maybe these aren't. Oh, this was a card. Okay, so that's what that makes sense. I graduated culinary school right before I went, so these are some cards that I took with me in my suitcase, and I didn't open any of them until I was already there. And it was like, if I was ever missing home, I would like open a card from someone in my family and like have a really sweet note to read. And so that one said, congratulations from culinary school, and I was like, that makes no sense, but that's why. Because I would open them when I was there, and that made it like, you know, if you're missing home, it like made you feel better. So definitely recommend if you're gonna au pair or study abroad, if you're like worried about missing home or anything while you're there, definitely have your family like write you some letters ahead of time, put them in your suitcase, and don't read them until you get to where you're going. And if you're ever like homesick for a little bit, you can always read one and it helps cheer you up. Okay, so this was the Brighton bathing boxes. Me and Melina walked here. It was awful. We got on the wrong train, we got lost, we had no phone service. It was horrible. Neither of us had ever taken a real train before. It was a nightmare, but yeah, so we went to the Brighton bathing boxes, which is like the really cool scenic photo on the beach in Melbourne. Yeah, these were all like my little letters I had and cards and stuff, which made it like so sweet. One day I'll go back and read all those. Okay, so, oh yeah, I forgot. When I was in Sydney, so I went during Vivid Sydney, which is an event they put on every year, and when I went it was going on, and so all around downtown Sydney they put up these like really cool light things, and you get to like interact with them. And then at night they do a light show on the Opera House with all of like these like cool lights and graphics and all that, and it makes like a whole new series. And so I got to go to Vivid Sydney, and that was awesome. This was my journal while I was there. So fun. Okay, so this was my like bucket list. I wanted to go to Thailand, Melbourne, Sydney, the Whitsundays, the Great Barrier Reef, Perth, New Zealand, Fiji, Hawaii, Alaska, and back home, obviously. And I did everything but Fiji, and I was gonna go to Fiji. I was seriously gonna go. I have different like flight prices written out in here and stuff. And it just never worked out. I like could never just justify spending the money, so never went. But yeah, we're almost to the bottom of the box. So this is another, this was a postcard that I kept for myself and never sent, but that's a quokka. Rottnest. This is an echidna, which is another native animal to Australia. This is a wombat, which again you can pet in Mariah Island. That was so fun. I have a straw that now I remember because me and Lauren went out in, it must have been in New Zealand or in Perth. I don't remember where we went, but the bartenders were flirting with us because we were American, and when I get drunk I get very southern, and they were like really excited about my accent. And there was like something big event, I don't remember what, but something happened that night with like a giraffe, and it was like on my straw. I don't remember. Anyways. These are the USS Arizona, which I got to see when I went to Hawaii on my trip home. Again, flag on Iwo Jima. All this is from Hawaii. This is my baby girl. That's my Lissy. She doesn't look like that anymore. Oh, I went whale watching in Sydney. I forgot about that. That was awesome. That's from whale watching. We took these pictures of Liz for her 2-year birthday. This was baby George, who kind of reminds me of Sebastian. He was born while I was there, and so I got to like see him being born. It was so cute. This is my Felicity girl. Oh, y'all, she's so big now. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at baby George. Oh my goodness, I can't handle it. My babies, they're so big now. I don't know what that's from. Last little things. This is again from the Hawaii. These are from the luau I went to in Hawaii. I also went here all by myself, completely alone. Went to a luau. That was super fun. Paradise Cove. I think these are all kind of similar to that stuff. Oh, this is from Thailand. Let's see, World War II, that's Hawaii. That's Alaska. Oh, yeah, I haven't really talked about Alaska. I guess I didn't get much from Alaska, but I did go to Alaska on my own too. That was really fun. I rented a car for the first time all by myself. Let's see. Oh, we did Ripley's in Hollywood, me and my friend Tori. more Hollywood, Hollywood, Hollywood. Let's see, this is all Thailand. We stayed at the Phuket Kata Resort, which was super, we must have gotten a really good deal because I've looked at like going back to Thailand again one day, and this resort is like super expensive now, but we got like a really good deal, so that was fun. It had a swim up bar. It was awesome. Yo, let's see, we literally paid 770 baht, which I'll have to like put on the screen how much that actually is, but it was like not much. Let's see, these are all just more receipts from Thailand. Let's see, I have no idea what that was. 1,689 baht. I paid $1,600 for something. Okay, so this is also fun. So we went to Tiger Kingdom and actually got to like pet, which it won't focus. Okay, whatever. We went to Tiger Kingdom and I got to pet a giant tiger, a baby tiger, all kinds of tigers, and it was so fun. I'll put a picture up. They're so cuddly. It was amazing. It was like the coolest experience. And then the last thing we did while we were in Thailand was we went to Phi Phi Island in Maya Bay. We went to Monkey Beach. Oh, this was one of the things we did. Thailand was absolutely stunning. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. Sebastian is screaming if you can hear him. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for every Monday from whenever you see this video until I decide the series is done for more au pair videos. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was more fun for me than probably you guys, but I have a lot of cool stories. So if you watched all the way through and you want to know anything about any of the stuff I shared, comment down below and let me know. And I'll definitely do some more videos sharing more story times and fun stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!